Okay, this time I want the movie line from you. You give me the movie line. What was special about Nigel Tufnell's amplifiers? There's a very famous movie line associated with Nigel Tufnell's amplifiers, specifically something he says about them. Give me the movie line, please, and get pinned to the top of the comments if you are first to answer correctly. Today, we're going to be reading about someone supremely entertaining, one of the most entertaining dudes to ever walk the face of the earth, and it's weird because he's not an actor or entertainer per se. He's a chef, the most entertaining chef, I think, that ever lived, in my opinion. Gordon Ramsay. So let's read about this guy. Gordon James Ramsay, born November 8th, 1966, is a British chef, restaurateur, television personality, and writer. His global restaurant group, Gordon Ramsay Restaurants, was founded in 1997 and has been awarded 16 Michelin stars overall. It currently holds a total of 7. After rising to fame on the British television miniseries Boiling Point in 1999, Ramsay became one of the best-known and most influential chefs in the UK. Ramsay's television appearances are defined by his bluntness, fiery temper, strict demeanor, and frequent use of profanity. He combines activities in the television, film, hospitality, and food industries, and has promoted and hired various chefs who have apprenticed under his wing. He is known for presenting TV shows about competitive cookery and food, such as the British series Hell's Kitchen, Ramsay's Kitchen Nightmares, and The F Word, with the latter winning the 2005 BAFTA Award for Best Feature, and the American versions of Hell's Kitchen, Kitchen Nightmares, MasterChef, and MasterChef Junior, as well as Hotel Hell, Gordon Behind Bars, and 24 Hours to Hell and Back. Ramsay was appointed Officer of the Order of the British Empire by Queen Elizabeth II in the 2006 New Year Honours List for services to the hospitality industry. In July 2006, he won the Katie Award for Independent Restaurateur of the Year, becoming only the third person to have won 3 Katie Awards. In 2020, Forbes listed his earnings at $70 million for the previous 12 months, and ranked him at number 19 on its list of the highest earning celebrities. On his early life, Gordon James Ramsay was born in the Scottish towns of Johnstone on November 8th, 1966, the son of Helen, a nurse, and Gordon James Sr., who worked as a swimming pool manager, welder, and shopkeeper. He has an older sister, a younger brother who was later imprisoned in Bali for heroin possession, and a younger sister. When he was 9 years old, he moved with his family to England and grew up in the Bishopton area of Stratford-upon-Avon. He has described his early life as hopelessly itinerant and said his family moved constantly due to the aspirations and failures of his father, who was an occasionally violent alcoholic. Ramsay described him as a hard-drinking womanizer. In his autobiography, he revealed that his father abused and neglected the children. He worked as a pot washer in a local Indian restaurant where his sister was a waitress. He had hoped to become a footballer and was first chosen to play under-14 football at the age of 12, but his early footballing career was marked by injuries. After a serious knee injury, he was forced to give it up. At the age of 16, he moved out of the family home and into an apartment in Banbury. His early cooking career. Ramsay's interest in cooking had begun in his teenage years. Rather than be known as the footballer with with the gammy knee, he decided to pay more serious attention to his culinary education at age 19. Ramsay enrolled at North Oxfordshire Technical College, sponsored by the Rotarians, to study hotel management. He describes his decision to enter catering college as a complete accident. In the mid-1980s, he worked as a commis chef at the Roxton House Hotel. He ran the kitchen and 60-seat dining room at the Wickham Arms until his sexual relationship with the owner's wife made the situation difficult. Ramsay then moved to London, where he worked in a series of restaurants until being inspired to work for the temperamental Margot Pierre White at Harvey's. After working at Harvey's for 2 years and 10 months, Ramsay, tired of the rages and the bullying and violence, decided that the way to further advance his career was to study French cuisine. White discouraged Ramsay from taking a job in Paris, instead encouraging him to work for Albert Roux at La Gavroche in Mayfair, where he met Jean-Claude Breton, later his maitre d'hotel, at restaurant Gordon Ramsay. After working at La Gavroche for a year, Albert Roux invited Ramsay to work with him at Hotel Diva, a ski resort in the French Alps, as his number 2. From there, a 23-year-old Ramsay moved to Paris to work with Guy Savoy and Joel Robuchon, both Michelin-starred chefs. In MasterChef Series 3, Episode 18, Gordon Ramsay stated that Guy Savoy was his mentor. He continued his training in France for 3 years before giving in to the physical and mental stress of the kitchens and taking a year to work as a personal chef on the private yacht Idlewild, based in Bermuda. The role on the boat saw him travel to Sicily and Sardinia, Italy, and learn about Italian cuisine. As head chef, upon his return to London in 1993, Ramsay was offered the position of head chef under chef patron Pierre Kaufmann at the 3 Michelin-starred La Tante Claire in Chelsea. Shortly thereafter, Margot Pierre White re-entered his life, offering to set him up with a head chef position and 10% share in the Rossmore, owned by White's business partners. The restaurant was renamed Aubergine and went on to win its first Michelin star 14 months later. In 1997, Aubergine won its second Michelin star. Despite the restaurant's success, a dispute with Ramsay's business owners, who wanted to turn Aubergine into a chain, and Ramsay's dream of running his own restaurant led to his leaving the partnership in July 1988. He has described the decision to set out on his own as the most important day of my entire cooking career, the most important decision of my life. In 1998, Ramsay opened his own restaurant in Chelsea, Restaurant Gordon Ramsay, with the help of his father-in-law, Chris Hutchison, and his former colleagues at Aubergine. The restaurant gained its 3rd Michelin star in 2001, making Ramsay the first Scot to achieve that feat. In 2011, the Good Food Guide listed restaurant Gordon Ramsay as the 2nd best in the UK, only bettered by the Fat Duck in Bray, Berkshire. After establishing his first restaurant, Ramsay's empire expanded rapidly. He next opened Petrus, then Amaryllis in Glasgow, which he was later forced to close, and later Gordon Ramsay at Claridge's. He hired his friend and maitre d'hotel Jean-Philippe Susilovic, who works at Petrus and also appears on Ramsay's US TV show Hell's Kitchen. Restaurants at the Dubai Creek and Connaught hotels followed, the latter branded with his protege Angela Hartnett's name. Ramsay has opened restaurants outside the UK, beginning with Vare in Dubai. 2 restaurants, Gordon Ramsay at Conrad, Tokyo, and Cerise by Gordon Ramsay, both opened in Tokyo in 2000. 2005. In November 2006, Gordon Ramsay at The London opened in New York City, winning top newcomer in the city's coveted Zagat Guide, despite mixed reviews from professional critics. In 2007, Ramsay opened his first restaurant in Ireland, Gordon Ramsay at Powerscourt, at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel in Powerscourt, County Wicklow. This restaurant closed in 2013. In May 2008, he opened his first restaurant in the western U.S. in the London West Hollywood Hotel, formerly the Bel Age Hotel, on the Sunset Strip in Los Angeles. The contract expired in 2015, closing the restaurant. On August 9th, 2011, Ramsay opened his first Canadian restaurant, Laurier Gordon Ramsay, at the former Rotisserie Laurier Barbecue in Montreal. In February 2012, Danny Levy, the owner of the restaurant, announced the restaurant was disassociating itself from Ramsay, citing a lack of involvement and understanding on Ramsay's part. The restaurant closed in 2013. Awards. Restaurant Gordon Ramsay, located at Royal Hospital Road, London, was voted top restaurant in the UK in the London Zagat survey in 2001 and was awarded its third Michelin star. He was appointed Officer of the Order of the British Empire by Queen Elizabeth II in the 2006 New Year Honours List for services to the hospitality industry, but almost missed the award ceremony when his plane was delayed. In July 2006, Ramsay won the Katie Award for Independent Restaurateur of the Year, becoming only the third person to have won 3 Katie Awards. Ramsay's 2 previous Katie Awards were in 1995, Newcomer of the Year, and 2000, Chef of the Year. The other 2 triple winners are Michael Roux and Jackie Perrin. In September 2006, he was named as the most influential person in the UK hospitality industry in the annual Caterer Search 100 list, published by Caterer and Hotelkeeper magazine. He overtook Jamie Oliver, who had been top of the list in 2005. Also in 2006, Ramsay was nominated as a candidate for Rector of the University of St. Andrews, but lost at the polls to Simon Pepper. Ramsay's flagship restaurant, the restaurant Gordon Ramsay, was voted London's top restaurant in Hardens for 8 years, but in 2008 was placed below Petrus, a restaurant run by former protege Marcus Waring. In January 2013, Ramsay was inducted into the Culinary Hall of Fame. On June 14, 2017, Ramsay set a new Guinness World Record for the fastest time to fillet a 10-pound fish, achieving the record in 1 minute and 5 seconds. August 16, 2017, Ramsay set a Guinness World Record for the longest pasta sheet rolled in 60 seconds, which measured 1.45 meters. As for Gordon Ramsay Holdings, all of Ramsay's business interests, restaurants, media, consultancy, are held in the company Gordon Ramsay Holdings Limited, which was run in partnership with his father-in-law, Chris Hutcherson, and incorporated on October 29, 1997. Ramsay owns a 69% stake, valued at £67 million in 2007, whereas previous ventures acted as a combined consultant brand. In November 2006, Ramsay announced plans to create 3 restaurants in the United States. These opened in 2006 and 2007 at the London Hotel in Manhattan in October 2006, the Cielo in Boca Raton, Florida, and at the London Hotel in West Hollywood, California. Ramsay acts as a consultant to numerous catering organizations. In 2005, he was recruited by Singapore Airlines as one of its international culinary panel consultants. In late 2006, Gordon Ramsay Holdings purchased 3 London pubs, which were converted into gastropubs. These are the Narrow in Limehouse, which opened in March 2007, the Devonshire in Chiswick, which opened in October 2007, and the Warrington in Maida Vale, which opened in February 2008. Both the Devonshire and the Warrington were sold in 2011. In May 2008, it was confirmed that Ramsay's protege of 15 years, Marcus Waring, was going solo, having opened and operated Petrus at the Berkeley Hotel on behalf of Gordon Ramsay Holdings since 2003. With the name Petrus owned by Gordon Ramsay Holdings, industry sources suggested it was likely to transfer to another restaurant in the group, with the former La Noisette site identified as the most likely. In April 2010, Jason Atherton, executive chef of Maze Restaurants Worldwide, resigned to open his own venue in Mayfair. On October 19, 2010, the company Gordon Ramsay Holdings Limited announced that Chris Hutchison had left his position as CEO. Shortly afterwards, Ramsay released a letter to the press describing how he had unraveled the manipulative Hutchison's complex life after having had him followed by a private detective. His father-in-law's away days, wrote Ramsay, were rarely what I thought they were. Company accounts show Hutchison borrowed up to £1.5 million from Gordon Ramsay Holdings, though Hutchison says he reported the borrowings to the company and paid the money back. Hutchison said he had been vaporized and subjected to a public hanging by Ramsay, whom he described as a friendless egotist. In April 2017, Hutchison pleaded guilty to a charge of conspiracy to hack into the computers of Gordon Ramsay Holdings Limited. In October 2012, Ramsay opened the Fat Cow in Los Angeles at the Grove, a shopping area that is also popular with tourists. Ramsay explained his intention for the Fat Cow in a press release to signify the opening of the venue. The concept for the Fat Cow came from my desire to have a neighborhood restaurant that you could go to all the time to just relax and enjoy a terrific meal. In partnership with footballer David Beckham, Ramsay opened the Union Street Cafe in the Southwark district of London, UK, in September 2013. The Italian cuisine of the Union Street Cafe, with a menu that is revolved on a daily basis, is overseen by chef Davide De Giovanni. On October 2013, the Gordon Ramsay at the London restaurant in New York lost its 2 Michelin stars due to issues encountered by the Michelin reviewers. The guide's director, Michael Ellis, stated that he was served some very erratic meals and also experienced issues with consistency. The loss followed the closure of another of Ramsay's restaurants, Gordon Ramsay at Claridge's, in June 2013. April 17, 2018, saw the opening of the Ramsay's First Street Pizzas, situated in the downstairs area of his One New Change Bread Street kitchen offering bottomless pizza. The second street pizza was opened at the chef's New York and Albany restaurant. On June 26, 2019, Chloe Sorvino from Forbes magazine reported that Ramsay will receive $100 million from Lion Capital, a private equity firm headquartered in London, to open 100 restaurants by the year 2024. On March 24, 2020, Ramsay laid off more than 500 staff in the UK after a number of Ramsay's restaurants had to close temporarily under the coronavirus lockdown. Ramsay, whose personal net income was estimated to be $63 million in 2019 by Forbes, was criticized for the layoffs. Ramsay will open his first restaurant in Macau, Gordon Ramsay Pub and Grill, at the new Londoner Macau Hotel and Casino, formerly the Sands Cotai Central, when it opens in 2021. In March 2021, Ramsay launched his own brand of California wines, produced in collaboration with master sommelier Chris Miller and international wine expert Nick Dumer at Siebold Cellars in Monterey, California. Ramsay's new cookery school, called the Gordon Ramsay Academy, opened in Woking, Surrey in September 2021. Okay, let's talk television. Ramsay's first documented role in television was in two Fly on the Kitchen Wall documentaries, Boiling Point and Beyond Boiling Point, but he had appeared previously as a judge on a Master Chef-like series for young catering students in 1997 with his then restaurant partner. Ramsay appeared on Series 3 of Faking It in 2001, helping the prospective chef, a burger flipper named Ed Devlin, learn the trade. This episode won the 2001 BAFTA for Best Factual TV Moment. In 2004, Ramsay appeared in two British television series. Ramsay's Kitchen Nightmares aired on Channel 4 and saw the chef troubleshooting failing restaurants over 1 week. This series ran its fifth series in 2007. Hell's Kitchen, a reality show which aired on ITV1, saw Ramsay attempt to train 10 British celebrities to be chefs as they ran a restaurant on Brick Lane in the East End of London, which opened to the public for the 2-week duration of the show. Although he was the creator of Hell's Kitchen, Ramsay only starred in the first series, as he signed a 4-year contract with Channel 4, ruling out any possibility of him appearing on future episodes of the ITV-produced show. In May 2005, the Fox network introduced Ramsay to American audiences in a U.S. version of Hell's Kitchen, produced by Granada Entertainment and A. Smith & Co. The show follows a similar premise to the original British series, showcasing Ramsay's perfectionism and infamously short temper. Ramsay had also hosted a U.S. version of Kitchen Nightmares, which premiered on Fox on September 19, 2007. On June 23, 2014, Ramsay announced he was ending the series. In June 2018, Gordon Ramsay's 24 Hours to Hell and Back, a new series with a premise much like Kitchen Nightmares but a shorter timeline, premiered on Fox. Ramsay has presented 5 series of a food-based magazine program titled The F Word. It launched on Channel 4 on October 27, 2005. The show is organized around several key recurring features, notably a brigade competition, a guest cook competition, a food-related investigative report, and a series-long project of raising animals to be served in the finale. The guest cook, usually a celebrity, prepares a dish of their own choosing and places it in competition against a similar dish submitted by Ramsay. The dishes are judged by diners who are unaware of who cooked which dish, and if the guest wins, as they have on numerous occasions, their dish is served at Ramsay's restaurant. The U.S. version premiered on May 31st, 2017 on Fox. In July 2006, Channel 4 announced that it had re-signed Ramsay to an exclusive 4-year deal at the network, running until July 2011. The series became one of the highest-rated shows aired on Channel 4 each week. During one episode of The F Word, Ramsay cooked in Doncaster Prison in Marshgate for its inmates. The chef was so impressed by the speed at which a prisoner, Kieran Tarf, chopped vegetables that he offered him a job at his restaurant following his release in 2007. In 2010, Ramsay served as a producer and judge on the U.S. version of MasterChef. A second season of the show began in June 2011, again starring Ramsay. On that same show, he was joined by culinary judges Graham Elliott and Joe Bastianich. He served in a travelogue about his visit to India, Gordon's Great Escape, followed by a series set in Asia. He hosted the series Ramsay's Best Restaurant, which was the first UK series by Ramsay's own production company, One Potato, Two Potato. Ramsay joined several other celebrity chefs in the 2010 series The Big Fish Fight, where he, along with fellow chef Jamie Oliver and a few others, spent time on a trawler boat to raise awareness about the discarding of hundreds of thousands of sea fish. In March 2012, Fox announced the coming of Ramsay's fourth series for the Fox network, Hotel Hell. The series is similar to Kitchen Nightmares, except that it focuses on struggling hotels, motels, and other lodging establishments in the United States. Originally slated for debut on April 16th, 2012 and June 4th, 2012, the series debuted August 13th, 2012. More recently, he signed a deal with Fox. His guest appearances. In September 2005, Ramsay, along with Jamie Oliver, Heston Blumenthal, Wolfgang Puck, and Sanjeev Kapoor, were featured in CNN International's Quest, in which Richard Quest stepped into the shoes of celebrity chefs. In 2006, Ramsay took part in a television series for ITV, following the lead up to Soccer Aid, a celebrity charity football match in which he played only the first half, nursing an injury picked up in training. Ramsay captained the Rest of the World 11 against an England 11 captained by Robbie Williams. His involvement was limited after he received a 4-inch cut in his calf. During his second appearance on the BBC's Top Gear, he stated that his current cars are a Ferrari F430 and a Range Rover Sport Supercharged, the latter replacing the Bentley Continental GT he previously owned. In May 14th, 2006, he appeared on Top Gear in the Star in a Reasonably Priced Car segment. Ramsay held the top spot on Top Gear's celebrity leaderboard with a lap time of 1.46.38 until overtaken by Simon Cowell. Ramsay starred in part of a National Blood Service Give Blood television advertisement in England, in which he said that he would have died from a ruptured spleen had it not been for another person's blood donation. On October 13th, 2006, he was a guest host on the first episode of the BBC's comedy panel show Have I Got News for You's 30-second series. On December 27th, 2007, Ramsay appeared in The Extras Christmas special. In January 2008, Ramsay also guest featured on Channel 4's Big Brother Celebrity Hijack as the Big Brother housemates took part in his Cook-Along Live television show. Gordon spoke directly to the Big Brother house via the house plasma screens, regularly checking on the progress of the contestants. In 2011, during the results show of American Idol, footage of the top 5 contestants taking on a challenge of cooking with Gordon Ramsay was shown. The top 5 were given 10 minutes to make the best omelets. In November 2011, Ramsay made an appearance on The Simpsons episode The Food Wife. In February 2017, Ramsay made a guest appearance on New Girl episode Operation Bobcat. Ramsay made an appearance on December 11th, 2017, broadcast of Please Take Care of My Refrigerator, a South Korean reality television show on JTBC. Ramsay voices the character Bolton Gramercy in Big Hero 6, the series. The character, a chef with a fiery temper, is loosely based on him. Legal proceedings. In 1998, following Ramsay's resignation resignation from the aubergine, A to Z restaurants sued him for $1 million, citing lost revenue and breach of contract, but eventually settled out of court. In June 2006, Ramsay won a high court case against the London Evening Standard newspaper, in which Victor Lewis Smith had alleged, after reports from previous owner Sue Ray, that scenes and the general condition of Bonaparte's had been faked for Ramsay's kitchen nightmares. Ramsay was awarded $75,000 plus costs. Ramsay said at the time, "I won't let people write anything they want to about me. We have never done anything in a cynical, fake way." In June 2007, Ramsay's show was sued by the terminated general manager Martin Hyde of the New York restaurant Purnima Dillon's, who also alleged fakery. Hyde had quit his position at the restaurant during the show when Ramsay suggested that the owner hire top Indian chef Vikas Khanna as the consultant chef for Purnima. The lawsuit alleged that, unknown to the viewing audience, some or all of Kitchen Nightmares are fake, and the so-called problems uncovered and solved by Ramsay are, for the most part, created by Ramsay and his staff for the purpose of making it appear that Ramsay is improving the restaurant. In 2007, the case was dismissed voluntarily and ordered into arbitration as stipulated in their contract. On March 21st, 2012, Ramsay filed a $2.7 million lawsuit against his former partners of his restaurant in Montreal, Quebec, the Laurier Gordon Ramsay, since renamed the Laurier 1936, over lost licensing fees and defamatory statements made against him. On April 16, 2013, just over a year later, Laurier 1936 closed. In January 2014, Ramsay lost a high court case in relation to the York and Albany pub. Ramsay claimed that his father-in-law had misused a ghost writing machine to make Ramsay a personal guarantor for the £640,000 annual rent of that pub. Ramsay tried to nullify the 25-year lease signed in 2007. The judge said that Ramsay had known about the guarantee beforehand, but that he had total trust in his father-in-law, Christopher Hutchison, and left the deal to him. The judge dismissed the case and ordered Ramsay to pay all legal costs and outstanding monies, in total more than £1 million. Onto his public image and reception, starting with his personality. Ramsay's reputation is built upon his goal of culinary perfection, which is associated with winning 3 Michelin stars. His mentor, Marco Pierre White, noted that he is highly competitive. Since the airing of Boiling Point, which followed Ramsay's quest of earning 3 Michelin stars, the chef has also become infamous for his fiery temper and use of expletives. Ramsay once famously ejected food critic A.A. Gill, whose dining companion was Joan Collins, from his restaurant, leading Gill to state that Ramsay is a wonderful chef, just a really second-rate human being. Ramsay admitted in his autobiography that he did not mind if Gill insulted his food, but a personal insult he was not going to stand for. Ramsay has also had confrontations with his kitchen staff, including one incident that resulted in the pastry chef calling the police. A 2005 interview reported Ramsay had retained 85% of his staff since 1993. Ramsay attributes his management style to the influence of previous mentors, notably chefs Marco Pierre White and Guy Savoy, father-in-law Chris Hutchison, and Jock Wallace, his manager while a footballer at Rangers. Ramsay's ferocious temper has contributed to his media appeal in both the UK and the United States, where his programs are produced. MSN Careers featured an article about television's worst bosses, which listed Ramsay as the only non-fictional boss. The They cited his frequent loss of his temper and his harsh critiques, notably when he picks on something other than cooking ability, such as calling someone a chunky monkey. Although Ramsay often mocks the French, one of his most trusted maitre d's, Jean-Baptiste Requien, Royal Hospital Road, is French, and Ramsay also speaks fluent French from his time in Paris. In November 2007, Ramsay installed 29-year-old Claire Smith as head chef at his 3 Michelin-starred flagship restaurant on Royal Hospital Road. Smith is the second high-profile appointment of a female chef by Ramsay after Angela Hartnett. Smith was the first female 3 Michelin-starred. She moved on to start her own restaurant in 2017. Ramsay has been criticized for his frequent use of strong language on his programs, first by British celebrity cook Delia Smith, then in relation to Ramsay's kitchen nightmares by a member of the Federal Parliament of Australia. In his autobiography, Ramsay himself said he was unaware of the extent of his swearing until he watched an episode of Boiling Point. While he stated he did not have a problem with it, Mum was appalled, he was quoted as saying. On June 5th, 2009, Ramsay started trading insults with Australian current affair journalist Tracy Grimshaw. The day after his interview, he was a guest feature at the Melbourne Food and Wine Festival. While doing his display, he allegedly insulted Grimshaw and made insinuations about her sexuality. Grimshaw responded the next day, calling Ramsay an arrogant narcissist bully. Ramsay eventually apologized, stating that his behavior was a joke. TV Guide included him in their 2013 list of the 60 nastiest villains of all time. Despite being known for his ferocious temper, Ramsay has been well received as the host of MasterChef Junior. In contrast to his interaction with adults, Ramsay was shown to be more patient and sensitive to the children featured on the show. Despite his competitiveness and fiery temper, he showed far more understanding and empathy towards children, amateur, and special needs chefs, including Christine Ha on MasterChef, although he continued to offer constructive criticism. His food views. Ramsay has historically expressed a dislike for vegetarianism and veganism. In the first episode of the second series of Ramsay's Kitchen Nightmares, he offered pizza to a vegetarian and said it was vegetarian. After he took a bite, Ramsay said that it contained ham, laughing, and asked if he wanted more. In 2003, when asked for his most recent lie, he said, to a table of vegetarians who had artichoke soup, I told them it was made with vegetable stock when it was chicken stock. In a 2007 interview, he joked, my biggest nightmare would be if the kids ever came up to me and said, Dad, I'm a vegetarian. Then I would sit them on the fence and electrocute them. In 2016, when asked on Twitter whether he was allergic to anything, he wrote, vegans, and followed up with, it's a joke, Jack, it's not vegans, it's vegetarians. In 2006, on the second series of The F Word, Ramsay showed a softened stance on vegetarianism after learning about intensive pig farming practices, including castration and tail docking, while letting 2 young family piglets live on an intensive farm. On the program, Ramsay commented, it's enough to make anyone turn effing vegetarian, for God's sake, and I've always sort of knocked vegetarians and vegans for missing out on the most amazing flavor you can get from meat, but you can see why so many people change instantly. In 2019, he launched a vegan menu at his restaurants for Veganuary and introduced more vegan items to his restaurants, such as vegan roast. Other chefs. Ramsay has been highly critical of Food Network and Iron Chef America star Mario Batali. The New York Post reported in 2009 that Batali has banned Ramsay from his restaurants. This alleged feud goes back to when Batali was highly critical of Ramsay's cooking style for being dull and outdated. has since stated that the alleged feud was created by a couple of journalists, but Daly went on to state, "I'd love to hang out with Ramsay." His eating and exercising habits. Ramsay said in 2016 that he exercises semi-competitively for his general well-being. He said he has seen overweight and unfit chefs collapse or become unable to move quickly around the kitchen. He often competes in Ironman events, marathons, and triathlons. He also eats very little per meal and prefers to graze throughout the day, partly due to the habit he built up as a judge and chef, and also because of his busy schedule. He has a black belt in karate. His personal life, starting with family. Ramsay married Cayetana Elizabeth Hutchison, a Montessori-trained school teacher, in 1996. They divide their time between Los Angeles and the Wandsworth Common area of London and have 5 children: Megan, Holly, Jack, Tilly, and Oscar. Megan ran the London Marathon in 2017 in memory of the miscarriage her mother suffered 5 months into her pregnancy in June 2016, a boy whom they had named Rocky. Until 2010, Ramsay's father-in-law, Chris Hutchison, was responsible for the business operations of Ramsay's restaurant empire. On June 7, 2017, Hutchison was jailed for 6 months for conspiring to hack a computer system relating to the Ramsays' business interests. Hutchison was accused with his sons of accessing company systems almost 2,000 times between October 23, 2010 and March 31st, 2011. Ramsay has 3 houses in Cornwall that are collectively worth an estimated £11 million, a £4 million mansion in Trebetherick, a £4.4 million property in Rock, and a £2 million Grade 2 listed property in Fowey. In August 2020, the Fowey property was put on sale for £2.75 million. His charity work. Ramsay has been involved in a series of charitable events and organizations. He fulfilled his aim of finishing 10 marathons in 10 years by running his 10th consecutive London Marathon on April 26, 2009, sponsoring the Scottish Spina Bifida Association. Ramsay has been honorary patron of the Scottish Spina Bifida Association since 2004, and in 2005 he launched the Gordon Ramsay Buy a Brick appeal to help the organization raise funds to build a new family support center and head office in Glasgow. In 2006, he launched a new appeal to help the charity raise the funds required to continue to run the support center. What's your favorite F word? Gordon's is fundraising. In November 2007, Ramsay hosted a St. Andrew's Day gala dinner at Stirling Castle in aid of the association and has now made this fundraising gala dinner an annual event. During March 2005, Ramsay teamed up with Indian chef Madhur Jaffrey to help the VSO, an international development charity group, to support its Spice Up Your Life event. The charity hoped to raise £100,000 for VSO's work in HIV and AIDS in India. The Ramsays were the first couple to become ambassadors for the women's charity Women's Aid in 2005. The couple ran the Flora Families Marathon to support Women's Aid. In 2006, 2008, 2010, 2012, and 2014, Ramsay took part in the biennial charity event Soccer Aid to raise money for UNICEF. On June 6, 2010, he played for the Rest of the World team alongside former professional footballers Zinedine Zidane and Luis Figo, as well as Hollywood actors Woody Harrelson, Mike Myers, and Michael Sheen. The match took place at Old Trafford in Manchester and was won by the Rest of the World for the first time, the winning penalty scored by Harrelson in the shootout. Iceland's Westman Islands filming a puffin hunting segment when he lost his footing and fell during a descent off an 85-foot or 26-meter cliff, landing in the icy water below. He reached the surface of the water by removing his heavy boots and waterproof clothing. His film crew, who rescued him by throwing him a rope, reported that he was submerged for at least 45 seconds. He later recalled, "I thought I was a goner. I was panicking and my lungs were filling with water. When I got to the top after getting my boots off, I was dazed and my head was totally massive." His prepared meal controversy. On April 17th, 2009, it was revealed that one of Ramsay's restaurants, Foxtrot Oscar, in London's Chelsea area, used pre-prepared food that was heated up and sold with markups of up to 586%. It was also revealed that 3 of his gastropubs in London did the same thing. A spokeswoman for Ramsay said, "Gordon Ramsay chefs prepare components of dishes devised and produced to the highest Gordon Ramsay standards. These are supplied to those kitchens with limited cooking space such as Foxtrot Oscar and Gordon Ramsay's highly acclaimed pubs, including the Narrow. These are sealed and transported daily in refrigerated vans, and all menu dishes are then cooked in the individual kitchens. This is only for the supply of Foxtrot Oscar and the 3 pubs, and allows each establishment to control the consistency and the quality of the food served." Reflecting on the controversy in 2010, Ramsay was unapologetic. "When I was working at the Gavroche all those years ago, the duck terrine wasn't made there. It was made outside, then brought to the restaurant wrapped in plastic. This is standard practice. What on earth was the fuss about?" Football. Ramsay played football and was first chosen to play under-14 football at age 12. He was chosen to play for Warwickshire. His footballing career was marked by injuries, causing him to remark later in life, "Perhaps I was doomed when it came to football." In mid-1984, Ramsay had a trial with Rangers, the club he supported as a boy. He seriously injured his knee, smashing the cartilage during training. Ramsay has claimed to have played 2 first-team games for Rangers. According to his autobiography, Ramsay played a couple of non-league matches as a trialist for Rangers and was signed by the club at the age of 15. Alan Cairns, a photographer who took a picture of Ramsay playing for Rangers in September 1985, said the photo was not one of the Rangers' first team, but a side picked to play a testimonial match. A Rangers spokesman said Ramsay was a trialist in that testimonial game. "He trained with us for a few months after that, but then got injured." The Rangers Revisited. In Series 4, Episode 12 of The F Word, originally aired on July 29th, 2008, Ramsay voiced Ibrox, the home ground of his favorite childhood team, Rangers FC, and exclaimed, "Home sweet home." He explained, "My dream came true when I was spotted in the mid-'80s, and I joined the youth team here in Ibrox." He related that one of his fondest memories is playing alongside one of Scotland's football legends, Ally McCoist, who said about Ramsay, "I remember him well, and the one thing that never ever will change is that he's a competitive so-and-so and wants to do and be the best that he can." Ramsay recalled that the pain of being released on the back of an injury was only assuaged many years later after receiving his 3rd Michelin star, and concluded, "Without the upset at Ibrox, I would not be the chef I am today." And lastly, his other interests. Ramsay is a football fan and supports Rangers FC and Chelsea. As a baseball fan, he follows the Los Angeles Dodgers and Los Angeles Angels. However, he He feels that the game of baseball is often too long, joking that this leads to fans spending most of the time eating or sleeping, which could lead to them being unhealthy. And then we have restaurants owned or operated by Ramsay, and you can see there are many, going all the way to his references, filmography first, excuse me, I'm actually going to get comfortable now because the article is over. Oh, that's good to stretch. Oh, you people have no idea the lengths to which I go to get you to sleep. This is it. It's cramping up. It's being in positions I wouldn't normally be in, because I have to keep your mouth up here in this region to speak toward the mic, so you can put your body in whatever position you want as long as your mouth is here. And hey, that's not proper, what is that, kinesiology? That's not proper posture all the time. What am I doing? I'm so off topic. You're supposed to be asleep. We're probably like 45 minutes in by now, so it doesn't matter. Where were we? Oh, just Ramsay. Well, yeah, this guy is so charismatic, oddly, right? Through all of the cursing and the anger and the fits, dude is super charismatic. What is it? I don't know what it is. It's the passion. It's got to be the passion for something, for anything. People are always looking for that, so it's attractive, even if it is presented in the form of a raging lunatic. He's passionate. He's a passionate, raging lunatic, right? Yeah, any time Ramsay is on, I wind up watching the show. I watched his various YouTube clips on how to make various foods. The guy even makes how to make a basic burger in your backyard interesting. Like, I'm just locked in whenever the guy is on. It's unexplainable. I think I'm gonna watch one episode of Kitchen Nightmares 5 seasons later or whatever. I'm like, wow, what year is it? And then same with Hell's Kitchen, and actually MasterChef. I really like MasterChef, even though I know he went after people, as illustrated in this article, for saying things are staged or fake. I've been watching these cooking competitions since, I'm gonna say, the first season of Top Chef. I'm gonna call that like 2006, which isn't Ramsay, that's Tom Colicchio and friends. But having watched them for like a good almost 20 years now, I feel like a lot of cooking shows are staged. I don't know if MasterChef is. Maybe it is. Maybe it's not, but whatever. It's entertaining. All of it. That's the bottom line here. It's how I started this video. That's how I'm ending it. Is Gordon Ramsay is supremely entertaining. And you've probably seen his show, so you know what I'm talking about. But if not, I mean, watch any of his stuff, and you'll probably watch the whole damn thing, because he is captivating. That's all I got, okay? I gotta go record another thing, like, I'm feeling festive. I'm gonna do a holiday. Based video. If you have any ideas as to what it should be, leave it in the comments. What kind of, this time of the year, holiday seasonal themed video should I do? Let me know, and maybe I can deliver it. Okay? Sleep well. See you guys tomorrow. Bye.